Nasta Communications Private Limited. Our speaker for today's workshop, Sri G. Srinivasa Rao, with a commendable 3-decade commitment. He has played a pivotal role in advancing space technology for disaster risk reduction. His tireless efforts have focused on operationalizing geospatial services, particularly for managing floods. Having held significant positions, including Head of Disaster Management at NRSC, Hyderabad, and Associate Director of Disaster Risk Reduction at ISRO Headquarters, Bangalore, he has represented ISRO internationally, contributing as an Executive Secretariat member in forums like the International Charter, Space and Major Disasters. Currently, as Group Director at NRSC, he leads impactful training and outreach initiatives. Today, we are going on a super cool adventure into space. We are going to learn all about satellites and how they are making a big difference in our country. This isn't just a regular workshop. You can think of it as a milestone, as a mission to discover all the amazing things satellites do for India. So, how many of you are ready for this exclusive knowledge sharing session? Can I have a thumbs up from the students? Yes, okay, amazing. So many of you. Great, great, great. So, just get ready. We are about to go on an awesome space adventure today. Buckle up because we are going to explore the secrets of satellites and how they are changing and making our country super, super cool. But before we proceed with today's session, I would like to mention that Camp NASTA 2023 assessment, which is scheduled for the 7th of December 2023 for both online and offline mode. The NASTA assessment will be administered in a single day. All the students will get the information about their mode of examination, either it is online or offline, through WhatsApp text messages. Also, the students can get this information from their respective schools as well. The mock test for the NASTA 2023 is also live on all of your students' login portal respectively. So you can go on your login portal, you can go to your students' login portal and you can log in and you can appear for the mock test and you can be prepared for the upcoming NASTA examination. I would also like to announce that earlier this month, on 6th November, CAM conducted its 17th scientific excursion, fostering over 100 young scholars on an inspiring journey at the CSIR-CSIO Chandigarh. This transformative excursion dwelt deep into the realms of science, technology, and innovation, igniting a spark of curiosity and passion for scientific exploration among all the students. The event commenced with an insightful overview of CSIR-CSIO Chandigarh, followed by various interactive lectures and engaging activities. During this visit, students gained an opportunity in understanding the intricacies of laboratory operations and all the functionalities of various instruments. Such experiential learning helps in nurturing a profound interest in science and fostering an understanding of various developments in India among all the students. With these opportunities, the students get to interact with esteemed scientists and enable themselves to explore, discover, and actively engage with diverse scientific fields in a real-world setting. If you would also like to participate in such excursions and get a chance to explore with various scientific disciplines at various eminent CSIR laboratories or other research organizations in India, then check out the link shared in the chat box to learn more about how you can participate. For any support, you can even get in touch with our team through the given helpline number in the chat box. Also, I would like to mention that on 20th November 2023, CAMP organized another offline teacher training program at the CSIR, Central Scientific Instruments Organization in Chandigarh, in association with the CBSE. For this program, around 70 teachers participated and attended sessions by Dr. Sachin Tyagi, Dr. Abhay Sachdev, Dr. Inderpreet Kaur, and many other esteemed scientists on NanoQuest, a journey of exploration through NanoWorld. The NanoQuest program was designed to empower educators with a comprehensive approach to science education. It aimed to provide teachers with the essential knowledge, tools, and pedagogical strategies to not only enhance their own grasp of scientific concepts, but also to spark the passion for scientific inquiry in their students. If you are a teacher and would like to register for one such training program at your nearest CSIR labs, please check out our upcoming CPD teacher training programs list on our website www.camp.res.in and feel free to enroll for them. For any support, you can even get in touch with our team through the given helpline number in the chat box. Well, coming back to today's session without any delay, I would like to invite Sri G. Srinivasa Rao ji to enlighten our students with his exclusive workshop on how satellites are changing India. Welcome, sir, and over to you.
Thank you, Gurjeet.
Thank you so much, sir. Please continue.
Aniket, thank you for the opportunity to connect me with the various students and others so that I can interact with them and we can share our experience. And I want to also know from them what is the next things they want from.
So it's our pleasure, it's our blessing for all the students. They get to hear from you. So it is a pleasure for all the students and me as well. So please continue.
So I will share my screen first.
Yes, sir.
Then we will start.
Yes, sir, your screen is visible.
Yeah. So very good afternoon to all of you, particularly Cam, for this wonderful opportunity to interact with the students and all the bright minds of India, because they are the next generation scientists, leaders. So it is that very happy to interact with you. So today we will start how these satellites are helping India, are changing India. So before going further, I just want to say that my pranams to all the teachers who are making us, our parents and teachers who are making us like this, and tomorrow's leaders also. So with this I will start. So first thing what I would like to say is that satellites, maybe some of you may be aware that the satellites are in our daily life. They are making our life very easy, though we do not know about the technology or we do not know that we are using their services. The first one, you know very well that TV. So direct to home. Earlier we have a lot of other things. Now from satellite direct to your home, you are getting the telecast wherever, whatever is happening across the globe. So this is what the communication satellites above Earth, they take care of these things. Let's say, for example, Tata Sky, Airtel, or whatever. So these services, these companies are using satellite services to telecast the TV programs direct to your home so that you can enjoy with your family. So next what? Enjoying is one. Then you also require food. So how food is coming to your home? Whether it is Zomato or it is Swiggy, they are using navigational satellites. So we say GPS. Our thing is Navic. So these satellites they are using to locate your home. So this way, our lives are becoming very easy. Not only this, suppose you are going to ATM, so it again contacts satellites. Through that only, it will authenticate the machine to give money to you. So this is how transparently space technology services we are using. And now I am saying that it saves lives. How a satellite can save life on Earth? Yes. So whatever weather that is happening across the globe, so we know instantly. For example, this is yesterday. Today morning I'm very busy, so I could not put today's satellite data. But yesterday night I could make it. So you can see how the clouds are moving, where it is going to rain. So all those things, whether a cricket match is going to happen or not. So these things we know in advance. Using these and using the modeling, so we can tell, predict whether how will be the weather tomorrow. Not only that, this is only just weather, but saving lives means we have cyclones. So these cyclones take away several lives. The first thing is that in 1999, India, particularly Odisha, so super cyclone hit Odisha, wherein more than 15,000 people died. Now, similar cyclone that is called Phylline in 2013, it crossed the same place with same intensity. But this time, there is no loss of life. How it is possible? The improvements in satellite technology, as well as the improvement in modeling technologies and awareness in the government as well as in the public. So these things together, it has become zero casualty. And the entire world is looking at India because we are overpopulated. Still zero casualty. So United Nations, they praised India and told that you can read there, India has clearly demonstrated to the world that a zero casualty is possible. So this is how our country and the space technology in our country is progressing. So now I am saying zero hunger. This is one of the sustainable development goals. So these things, how we are getting, so the moment if we need, each family need a lot of, rice, other things also. So how we will manage these things? We have 1.4 billion people. So by providing weather information and regularly providing how the status of the crop, whether it is in good condition or not. So these satellites, these are all another set of satellites. Earlier one with weather and cyclone, it is meteorological satellites, and this one for natural resources, crop and other things, this is Earth observation satellites. So there are four kinds of satellites: communication satellites, navigational satellites, weather satellites or meteorological satellites, and Earth observation satellites. So these satellites monitor what is happening, whether enough rice we are going to have this year or not. All these things are possible through satellite observations. So this is how the satellites are placed. Mostly our satellites, how they are placed, I have depicted here. You can see we have different kinds of satellites. So we start with resource sat. Resource sat is particularly for natural resources management, whether it is agriculture, forest, water, snow, whatever it is. So it can take all these things. This is like a group photo. It is likely low resolution images. Whereas if you go to Cartosat series, they are very high resolution, particularly for urban areas where buildings are there. You want to see how the urban areas are growing, in which direction it is going. So all these things are possible with high resolution satellites. That is called Cartosat. Then we have another set of satellites that is called OceanSat. These satellites help the fishermen where they can have more fish catch. So one day before itself, from satellite imagery, we can tell which place they have to go. And another satellite, which is like these are all satellites like our cameras, whereas this one is camera with flash. Even in night time, even during cloudy season, this can penetrate the cloud and provide information on Earth. So these are all Earth observation satellites. Generally, we keep it at 500 to 800 kilometer altitude above Earth. Another type of satellites were what we have discussed, that is both communication and meteorological satellites. So we keep it at 36,000 kilometers above Earth. The reason for this is the geostationary orbit. At this altitude, the orbit is called geostationary. The speed at which this satellite is moving and the speed at which Earth is rotating, both are same. So it is stationary with respect to Earth. So geostationary. So these things, if we launch above India, so you can get picture which will be helpful for your weather predictions. And the same satellite you can make use for communications. So whatever communications we discussed that we are getting direct to home, so is possible. Another type of satellites, navigational satellites, generally, if you want to cover entire globe, you will keep it around 20,000 kilometers. But India wanted only over India. So we kept that also at 36,000 kilometers. So mostly we use this 500 to 800 kilometers range or 36,000 kilometers range. So they are heavy. This is around 1 ton to 1.5 ton weight kgs, 1.5 ton. Then this is around more than 3 ton. So what happens? You need different types of launch vehicles for that. So these are the various launch vehicles. We have progressed over time with the different types of payloads. These satellites are called payloads. So we started with the SLV3, and you know the story, I think so. So this is SLV3, which is done by our Abdul Kalam sir. So he has launched this successfully in 1980, and he made India proud by making us the space-faring nation. Means India got the ability to send an object into space. That is in 1980. Then we have progressed over time, and this PSLV, Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. So with this, majority of the Earth observation satellites are sent to 500 to 800 kilometer range. So this can take up to 1.8 tons. This one is GSLV Mark 3 or LVM 3. This is the most heaviest launch vehicle which can take up to 6 ton. So this is the various versions are there. So up to 6 ton it can take into geosynchronous orbit. Recently we have also small satellite launch vehicle SSLV for very quick production of launch vehicles. Each launch vehicle will take 1 year to 1.5 years, but SSLV takes only 2 to 3 months. Suppose on demand, if somebody demands their satellites to be kept in LEO orbit, that is 500 to 800 kilometers orbit, within 2 3 months, India is in a position to keep it. So that is SSLV, and it can take only 500 kg satellite types. So we have discussed a little bit of various types of satellites and how they are helping us. But we have moved beyond that also. Little bit on what we are doing before getting into what exactly the satellites are helping. Just to give little more on from Earth to what's Moon and other planets. So Chandrayaan 1, 2, 3, we know the series, and the first one in 2008 it detected the presence of water. That is a great achievement, means Indian contribution to the world. The second one and third one together. So we are able to land, soft land on Moon at South Pole, and India has become the first country in the world to land on South Pole, and we are the fourth country to land on Moon. So we have sent our payloads, and they have done few experiments, and they have provided lot of information, and now several countries are asking India to share those results. So we will be discussing with them, and this is the point, Shivashakti point, where our lander Vikram and the rover Pragyan were there. Even now, after that we are moving towards Sun, that is Aditya L1. So in January we reached the Lagrangian point L1 to observe the various emissions in coronagraph, and we can study the corona and its changes also. Apart from sending these satellites or the landers, rovers, we are supposed to send our own people from Indian soil. So now ISRO is gearing up to send people to space, possibly by 2025. The first attempt with humans, means Indians, ISRO is going to make, and maybe by the time you grow up, you can go to space. So all these achievements, whatever we have discussed right now, is the vision of Dr. Vikram Sarabhai. He is the person in late 60s. He thought, though India is not so rich at that time, means I should say very poor at that time, because we got in 1947 or 50s the independence, and we are very very poor without any resources. So everybody is looking for food at that time. So same time he started, though with one day meal, still we can get into science and space. So with that vision, he started the space missions so that it will benefit a large number of Indians in the due course, and that we have seen already. So at that time, whatever limited funding is available, whatever is available, with that he started. So you can see here there is no proper place to start the space program. So some fishermen in a village near Trivandrum, they have given this old church. So there the space program of India started. And then you can see how they are making the launch vehicle, and how they are transporting the launch vehicle, and how they are transporting the satellite. This is how, with very very humble, very very low budget, India started, and now we are the many places we are the first top 5 countries with respect to space in the world. Though there are many developed countries, still we are far ahead of several. Okay, so now we will get into the uses of satellites. How we are making use of these satellites for various purposes. So I told you about this communication satellites, and that we are getting TV, all those things. But there are several other things. As I told you, the ATM, most importantly, tele-education. We are lucky that over internet we could discuss. And the majority of us are from towns or cities. There are several children who are all at very, very inaccessible areas like in Himalayas or some other places where accessibility is very, very difficult. So for those people, satellite technology, the communication satellites will help. And the teacher in the city, she can directly interact with the students using the communication satellites. We call it as tele-education. Instead of direct interaction, now we are having over internet, and that is through satellites. This is very long back India started this tele-education. And another important thing is that telemedicine. We have luckily access to various experts in medical field. Any health issue, directly we can go to an expert. Whereas in rural areas, in inaccessible areas or remote areas, rather, so how they can go to a doctor? Very, very difficult. So again, same technology we use, and the experts can directly interact with the patients and advise them what to do. So these are the new things that have come. And weather forecast. The meteorological satellite captures where is the cyclone or what is the type of cloud system. So this information again will be sent to communication satellite to give warnings. And there are along the coast there are several sirens and state government officials there. So once something comes through satellite, these communication satellites, we can alert people. Similar way, we have other services also. Another important thing is that search and rescue. This is the beacon. People will keep in their boats. So when they go, whether it is a motorized boat or whatever, when they go deep into sea, any problem with respect to cyclone, tsunami, or any other, so immediately they can press this so that it will send a signal to satellite. And this satellite again communicate back to mainland. So our coast guards can immediately go and help them, save. So this is another search and rescue. Like this news broadcasting, radio broadcasting, all these things are happening. And NRSC has I mean, not only NRSC, I mean ISRO, but other scientific organizations are also having some research at Antarctica, whether it is Maitri or Bharati, wherever. So these people can connect back to their families or to office through again communication satellite because this is at the South Pole. The other one, navigational satellites, they provide location-based services. So India has launched these satellites only for the Indian region. Means it includes India and some neighboring countries also. So we have 7 satellites, and these 7 satellites are geostationary and geosynchronous. Means at 36,000 kilometers above Earth we kept it so that they are always available to us, and the signals from these satellites help us calculate the position where we are or our device. Say for example, our mobile. So we use GPS. If GPS is not available to us, then what we will do? We just can't stop it. So we should have our own satellite system. For that, we launched these NAVIC satellites. Right now, they are helping the defense forces. Then comes remote sensing. The Earth observation satellites, they do remote sensing from 500 to 800 kilometers. They look at Earth, they monitor what is happening on the Earth surface. This remote sensing we also do. So we have 5 sensory organs in which our eye can see whatever you can get information without touching is generally called as remote sensing. Mostly it is for sight, eyesight. So our camera you can say. Without touching we can collect information about an object. So here you can see the raw mango and the ripe mango. So the colors emitted or reflected from these objects will tell us what it is based on the shape and other thing. Similar way, with a camera, normal camera, like our eye, we can see a person. Suppose instead of, because our eye can see only the visible range, not beyond. Whereas suppose you use some other instrument, then even you can see is the temperature. This is the thermal sensor. This can detect the temperature, particularly COVID time in airports and several other places. So we have kept the thermal sensor so that without touching, we can know their temperature. So this is another part of electromagnetic radiation, visible part, and this is thermal part. There are other uh, parts of radiation also. So whatever we get from sun, we call it as a white light. When we send it through prism, we get different colors. So this is the optical region. So the optical region, which is rather visible region. So you can make it into different colors by sending through refraction. You will get all these things. But whatever we receive from sun is a very wide spectrum. So blue, green, red, these three are the primary colors. And in between whatever is there, yellow, all those things are a combination of these two colors, three colors. So you know all these things, whatever we are watching in TVs or in computers, basically we say red gun, green gun and blue gun. So you may be aware. But this is very small part. Means our eye can detect only this part of the total energy what sun we are receiving from sun. So after this we have infrared, thermal infrared, microwaves. So there are several other things. So I am giving a peripheral information. So this is the process how it happens. So from sun we receive the sunlight or the energy which falls on different features on the earth, and these features will reflect back into space. So whatever is reflected back into space, that energy is collected by the satellite. So you can see here whatever is reflected back, this satellite is collecting that, and that is converting into different signals and sending back to our place. So here at Hyderabad we have Earth station which collect all the information whatever satellite is collecting. So different features. For example, you are seeing this forest area as dark green. Okay, so whatever electromagnetic spectrum, the total radiation, whatever is fell on this one, partly only it reflects based on the property of this particular feature. So if it is dark green, we say it is forest, because the rest of the electromagnetic radiation it is absorbing. Only the small component it is reflecting, that is green color. Even IR color means infrared also. So water absorbs everything. So on a satellite image, water either you see blue or you see it as black. So different features will reflect different parts of the electromagnetic radius. Whatever the satellite is collecting, based on that we say this is city, this is agricultural land, this is forest land, this is water, this is snow. Like that we can easily identify from the satellite. Yeah, this is the process of collection. So this is earth, while whatever it is reflecting, so this takes, and from here it will push it to our ground station at Hyderabad. So we have a series of antennas there which collect this information into processes. So after processing, so we start analyzing that. So this is how the satellites, while moving over Hyderabad cone, we call this as Hyderabad code. So if the moment they enter, they can send their signals to this Hyderabad station. This is how it happens. After that, as Earth rotates, so we may not get out. Now it is moving around through this Hyderabad cone. After some time, its position may be here. It may be moving like this. So here, from we cannot get the information whatever this satellite is covering because it is away from the cone. But one thing is common is that all these satellites they move pole to pole. So apart from having at Hyderabad, if we have at a pole, then we can take every time the data from the satellites. This satellite takes 110 minutes to complete one revolution around Earth. So every 110 minutes, or say roughly every 2 hours, you will get the data from the satellites if you keep an antenna at poles. So we have our acquisition antenna at Antarctica. So very frequently we get data from these satellites. So we cover the antenna. Earlier you have seen a dome-shaped antenna. But we cover it like this at Antarctica because this is very difficult terrain, rather extreme weather conditions. Always you will have snow here. Now we have winter here, whereas Antarctica now is having summer. You can see the soil there now. Maybe in May time, April, May time, that is winter time, you won't see anything and the entire this area also with snow. So our scientists, they stay in this building, they cannot come out that easily because the minimum temperature recorded in Antarctica goes back to around 270 minus 270 degrees Celsius. So, and if somebody ventures to come also, very few minutes only they can come and with three layered clothing, thermal clothing only they can come out. So quickly they have to do any maintenance for these antennas and they work day and night to collect data over all parts of the globe and that we are using. These people are similar to those people like our army at Siachen. So they work day and night in this very difficult weather conditions. So you can see here very clearly the same thing. So there is a rope here. Whether you are able to identify or not, I don't know. So there is a rope here. So if any snow falls here, they will clear with this rope, and you will not get much chance because nobody stays there except very few people from different countries. And these are the satellite images. You can see here how beautiful they are. This is part of Hyderabad. This is the Hussain Sagar, and this is the Buddha statue. And all this greenery, whatever you are seeing, is the vegetation. And these are the buildings, various buildings. And similarly, here also you can see this is Dubai Palm Island. Very nicely, it could capture everything. So depending on the type of satellite, you can get a very detailed or entire country as a group photo kind of. Means at a low resolution, entire country. At a higher resolution, small part of the country. So this is how they capture. Even you can see the small aircrafts. Even big aircrafts, you are able to see small aircrafts and that whatever even some of the road signals also you can see here. And this is the plane that is moving now. This is all one part. Suppose if you have a time series over years, you have captured for the same area, you know how the development is happening. You can see here from 1986 onwards. So a lot of data is available over here and different parts of the globe. You can see the change how it has happened. Similar way with storms, floods, whatever is happening. So you can see all those things with multi-temporal satellite data. Means multi-date satellite data. Yeah. So Now we will get into the actual uses of satellite. So it can be for agriculture, it can be for forest, it can be for water resources, it can be for ocean related, land monitoring, and humanitarian efforts. Like when some disaster happens, you can do that, and for, of course, defense services. Yeah. So now we are discussing about agriculture. Our country is an agriculture-based country, and if proper rain is not there, we will get into difficulties. So first thing is that any possibility of drought, the satellite can quickly capture and inform. So based on the multi-date satellite data, so if the growth, rather we call it as NDVI, normalized difference vegetation index, which is an index which provides information about the health of the crop. So this we use it to know the health for entire of the crops over entire country. So which part of the country is having good health, which part of the country is not having good health. So all these things are done. So then you know whether any place drought possibility is there. So we do forecast drought. So this satellite data helps in identifying such things. So government can take some interventions to minimize the impact of drought for us, means the people. Similarly, if you are growing, say for example, paddy is water intensive crop. So after paddy means this happens during monsoon season. Post paddy, so still there will be lot of soil moisture. So satellites identify such areas where soil moisture is still available. There we can grow short duration pulses. So that is how government is trying to help the farmers to double their income. This is one effort towards it. Similar way, we are burning. So Delhi is full of this air pollution because of the residue burning from the fields. So these things also we can, I mean, satellites can provide. So apart from that, you can also integrate the mobile applications. You can go to any field, you can take a picture, and because satellites are generally whatever data they give, it is linked to geospatial technologies, means like Google Maps. So you can see that in a map format, and whatever you are clicking here will automatically show the status of crop at that particular location. So this is how from field also you can get concurrency. This is how it is being developed. Then water resources. Water resources means water, snow, all these things are different forms of water only. So snow melt. So generally Himalayas during summer season, lot of snow it melts. So this melted snow will be collected, is collected at say Bakranangal Dam or several dams. So this helps states like Punjab, Haryana to divert that water for agriculture purpose. So from satellites you can estimate how much snow is there, how much water after melting, how much water quantity of water it can send to these reservoirs, and how much area that can be served. So these things are well planned in advance with satellite. Similarly, recently there is a glacial lake outburst in Sikkim, and several army jawans were missing. So to monitor those lakes, because they are very inaccessible. So these satellites help us. The moment something happens in Himalayas, first call comes to ISRO, because ISRO has satellites. So through satellites, ISRO immediately does the what happened. They will, analyzing the satellite, they provide the information to government to take necessary actions at the ground. Similar way irrigation, similar way floods and their warning, and several other things are possible. So whether the total water availability in India is sufficient, is less, or is going to be more. All these things can be possible through satellite images. Forestry. I don't know whether you people are aware of the movie called Pushpa. Generally, the Pushpa, he cuts the trees in the forest and smuggles. And it is very difficult to identify where he is cutting from, where he is bringing all those things. Suppose if you are a geospatial scientist or a space scientist, then you can easily identify using satellite images where exactly he is cutting the trees. So all these deforestation can easily be detected, and this can also be controlled through the ground segment. So, for example, we have this Amazon forest in Brazil and other countries. So, this one Amazon forest is lungs of the earth. So, it is very important if somebody is cutting those things. So, not only just Brazil government, other governments, means other countries also monitor is there any major deforestation. So this is very, very essential. So forest mapping, deforestation, even forest fires. So using the thermal sensor, you can easily detect where there is a temperature difference. So these temperature anomaly will give you that there is a possibility of fire there. So after some threshold, you can say that it is a fire. And nowadays, every day, almost I can say that 2 to 3 times, you can get the forest fire information from satellites. So how it is progressing over the day or over the week, you can easily find out. Urban areas where we are living, how the growth is happening in urban areas, and government, they use the system, satellite images and mobile system for collecting taxes also. One recent example is that government of Telangana, means because I am from Hyderabad, government of Telangana, they have increased their tax money by 1,000 crores just by using the satellite data and mobile applications. So you can also have a check on whether whatever government is pursuing the schemes, whether they are correctly being implemented or not. Similar, you can see that gas pipelines or other pipelines, how they are, anybody is encroaching. So these all these things we can use high resolution corpus data to get. So urban planning, all these things are possible with high resolution satellite. Similar way, rural development. There is a scheme called Manrega, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. Through this one, Government of India provides 100 days of work for the rural youth. So we know a scheme, whether it is properly implemented or not, we need a check. So here you can see the satellite data sets. So particularly these things, how earlier they were not there. So after this in scheme, these things are done. Suppose if somebody claims that we have dug a well here or a pond here, and if we can, when we see the satellite, whether it is true or false, we know. So this is how the government have a counter check on the claims coming from various places. Similar way for housing for all. So there also we use whether the beneficiary really constructing the house or not based on satellite as well as mobile technologies. This is how in India these satellites are helping. And apart from that, natural resources, all naturals. I have given only few examples, and there are several other natural resources which these satellites help. Not only that, the land degradation. Today we are using for some purpose, but tomorrow, if it is not useful, then we have to also see that wherever this land degradation is happening. So that is also possible with the sun. So majority of the changes that are happening on the surface of the earth can easily capture. Similar way, you can also indirectly calculate the groundwater levels, where you can get means there is a possibility of more groundwater. We call it as groundwater potential. Which places, for example, these places water possibility is more because Ganga River is there and this is all floodplain. And some places it is very difficult. So these based on certain parameters like lithology and other things, and also some ground observations. So from satellite data, we could map the groundwater potential across the country. Similarly, landslide hazards. So, in particularly in Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh, the tourist places, generally we see people are stranded there because of landslides. So, based on these satellites, like for example, Cartosat not only gives a image of the Earth, but it can also tell the height of each feature. Means it has stereo vision, like as we have two eyes. It has two cameras, so it can give you the height of various hills, terrains. Each point, it can tell the what is the elevation. So that helps us wherever steep slopes are there. So again, with the lithology, the slopes and other factors, we can say which particular part of that road is susceptible for landslides. So these are all several kinds of uses with satellite data. And finally, the disaster management. So if some flood is going to happen or happening, we can observe those things. This is the flood forecasting, where to what extent flood can come. So for some rivers, with the high resolution elevation data and forecast from rainfall, all those things combining together, we could able to tell up to which village water can come if there is any flooding. Similarly, over years, we have observed floods in various states in the country. So when we integrate this information, we know which village is frequently flooded, which village is less frequently flooded, and which village is not at all flooded. So when insurance claims come, so if you say that you have insured your crop and you can also claim that, falsely claim that your crop is inundated. But when we see satellite data, whether it is really inundated or not, very easily we will get the information. Similarly, forest fire alerts we have discussed, landslides we have discussed. So all these things like cyclones, so all these things we can manage with satellite data. Not only that, ISRO has also built one national database for emergency management. So this helps various states. What are the various problems with respect to disasters, and the recent information about disasters are all included in the database. So it is a spatial, like Google Maps, it is a spatial browser where you can see spatially the problematic areas. So this is another one. What I want to tell you is that there is one portal called One. This is similar to Google Earth. So here you can get information about India with respect to agriculture, with respect to water resources, whatever so far we have discussed. All these are all available in Bhuvan portal. You children can go to Bhuvan and explore all those things. Suppose you want to know about your city or about your state or about country. So you can get with respect to water resources, with respect to various other things, you get all the information. So there are several layers of information. You just try explore, and several government departments they use Google for their day-to-day work. For example, I told Manrega. I told you about this housing for all. So all these things is these are all available on Google, and these government departments they use that to do the next step. Suppose you have requested government for constructing a house, loan you have requested from government for constructing a house. You belong to weaker section. So the government asks you, give you one app using which you have to take a photo of you with your land. So that automatically comes and sits in Google. So government while providing the installment, whatever is house loan, they will give an installment. So first installment they will see you as well as your land. Suppose if I come to your land and take a photograph, then government keep it in waiting because there are that app will give the position also. So two people, two claims from the same land. So government keep it in advance. They will check which is correct. So if it is only you, immediately you will get that. And suppose you want the next installment, you have to construct up to foundation level. Take another picture with the foundation. So again you will get. Then up to basement, up to say plinth level, up to ceiling, rooftop. So like that at a various stages, you will take a photograph and send it, and everything is accessible in Google. So that is how government distributes housing loans to weaker section people. And this particular arrangement make government to implement in a very effective way. So this is all what are the various applications of satellite sound, how they are useful for the country, how when people are using the satellite information, how they are able to do effectively. So I just slightly deviate and tell you that what are the additionally what you people can get benefit. This is one space on wheels is a mobile exhibition. So ISRO has several buses. They keep sending it to various places. I think this is in Nagpur. So this bus will visit to various places, and the students can get into the bus where all these models, satellite models, launch vehicle models, various applications, Chandrayaan, Mangalyaan, Gaganyaan, all these are all available as models in that, and they can get information about that. So people who cannot reach ISRO directly, if they cannot come to ISRO, then they can go to these buses. We send the bus, they can visit the bus. This is one thing. And generally, students do visit our centers at various locations in the country. And all these models are available in our centers. They can come, see, and learn on space-related activities. And we are also further making new things here at the GD Metla Hyderabad, and you can see these kind of new developments shortly. And we have a program called Yuvika. This is this year Yuvika program, where some 5 states and UPs. So people, children came, and this is a 2-week residential train program. So they stay with us for 2 weeks. I think around 40 students. This is for only for ninth students, means ninth passed students. Generally, we do the advertisement sometime in March, and once your exams are over, so you will have an online quiz, and we also see your other activities based on that. There is a grading system, your knowledge in space related activities, your extracurricular activities, all put together, we rank them and we select these people. So though more than 1 lakh students apply for this, we select around 350 students, and for each center, major center, we allocate these states. So accordingly, these children, they stay for 2 weeks and learn several things. Not only just a theory, they have hands-on rocket launch, they have hands-on satellite making, robots making, and astronomy, and they will be taken to fields like in Hyderabad. We have Skyroad, a startup which sends, which makes launch vehicles, and another startup that is called Dhruva, which makes satellites. And here also some entertainment like Ramoji Film City. All these are all possible here. So these students they enjoy a lot. So those people, if some ninth class students are there, there is a possibility you can also make your journey to ISRO centers in 2024. You can try. Yeah, for engineering students, I do not know whether engineering students are there, but they come here not only across India, including Andaman and Nicobar Islands. They come here, they stay 3 to 9 months here, and they do their project with our scientists. We also will encourage startups, and we also enable government officials to use the satellite data in say for agriculture ministry. They can make use. Water resources are Jal Shakti ministry. They can make use. Like that, each and every ministry they come here, they get trained and they use it. Before closing this one, I just want to show one cartoon by New York Times. This is the cartoon sometime in 2014. So you can see here Allied Space Club. So there are several other countries. These are all the developed nations. Say they showed India like this. So at that time we are going to launch our Mars mission. So when we have announced that, they put this kind of cartoon on us. Whereas they depict us as we have not developed yet. But we are successful and we are the only country in the world that in first attempt itself we could reach successfully Mars orbit. Whereas all other countries they failed in the first attempt. So you being very young, you should know all these things how India is going, how outside people are looking at us, and how we have to take the next leap in space. So that is your responsibility as a future scientist. I think this could be the yeah. I have one more. So this could be my last slide. This is the robotics challenge. I do not know whether any students that are engineering students here, but this is for those who can build a robot. So ISRO has announced a space robot challenge. So some of you can see ISRO website. So these whatever now you uh, I mean, do the idea and make it like as a prototype. So based on that, your ideas will be included in Indian space missions, and you can also further collaborate with ISRO, and you can send your rovers, landers, all those things. So you can just have a look at it. I think this could be my task. Thank you so much for your patience, and I hope that you could able to understand some of the interesting uses of these satellites. So with this, I end my presentation. So let us have some discussion.
Thank you so much, sir. This was a very wonderful, wonderful session. I hope all the students have enjoyed it as much as I did. So now, moving on to the questions from our all curious students. So if you have any questions, you can raise your hands and I will pick you up one by one. And you may ask your questions to sir directly. Yes, we have one student, Ahil.
Good
Yes,
morning,
you
sir.
can start by
Good evening, sir. I just have a doubt that where they will store the data, like before 10 years storing data and all, it should be there. Like it contains more space. Where will they store it? The data.
Yeah, we have a storage system at our Hyderabad center. So all the satellite data we store here, like how Google stores the data from various places. So we have for satellites our own storage here. We call it as IMGOs.
Okay. What is the maximum capacity of that? How
As
much?
of now, we have 5 petabytes, but
Five?
the keep petabytes.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any other question?
Thank you so much. Yes. So we can have our next question from Harshad B.
Harshad?
Yes.
So,
Question.
how
They
can
can
we
raise
efficiently
hands,
produce
or
the
they can even send their
geographically
question in the
political
chat
topics, sir?
box.
No, no, two people are
Yes.
speaking at a time.
Excuse me, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, please tell me.
What is an efficient way to produce those rockets, sir? And what materials, which are the cheapest and also produce the most guarantee for the success of those rockets, sir?
Okay. So the kind of basically I don't know you are asking about the fuel or the material that is made for rocket. So the material should be very lightweight at the same time very tough. The same material we are using for providing these disabled people. Say for example, artificial hands, all those things also we are using that. Is it?
Yes, sir. Sorry, there was some network issue. So do we have any more questions? Yes, we have a lot of questions. Yes, Arya.
Good evening, sir. Sir, my question was that how can students can do the best use of satellites data in studying? Like in
Okay.
studying geography, how can be satellite
You
data
want to
can be used?
study? Oh, okay, okay. So satellite can be used that we have already discussed. As a student, there are several options during your engineering, all those things. You can opt for which are very close to satellite, and then you can also take a career in satellite related things. So basically, it is geospatial technologies. Whether it can be, you can get it in engineering as well as post graduation. So these two options are there. But enthusiastic students, they can come to us. We will also help you in understanding all these things.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
We can have our next question from Chanchal Kumari.
Good evening, sir. I want to ask that how does the methane sensors work?
How does the?
Methane sensors work.
I could not get you. How
I think she
does
asked, how
the?
does the methane sensors work?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay, okay. So, I mean, I am not into that sensor technology, but we only see the physics of that. So there are different parts of the gases which reflect differently. So based on those things only, we will be able to say whether it is CO2 or methane, or there are several sensors in that. I cannot tell you the exact physics within the sensor, but it is basically the differences in composition will help us in identifying. So Sentinel 5P we use for detecting all these things.
Thank you, sir.
We can have one more question from Janvi Singh.
Good, e- good evening, sir. Sir, I want to ask what is the future of India in terms of space exploration?
So that is very exciting that we started now on Gaganyaan. So exploration with respect to human space program as well as to other planets, sending our satellites as well as rovers. So now we have completed with our natural satellite, that is Moon. Now we are in India is planning to Mars. So sending rover as well as lander and rover to Mars. And we also have plans to collect the material from Moon and getting it back to Earth and further studying those things. So our Honorable Prime Minister, he gave a mandate that we should send a human being onto Moon by 2040. So if you are lucky and try, you may go to Moon also.
There seem to be a lot of questions from a lot of students. So we will take one more question, and the rest of the students can send us all of their questions and queries regarding the session in our email ID aniket@camp.res.in, and we will share all of your answers via email. So I will take only one question. Rishi Kiran. Yes. Rishi.
Rishi,
Hello, sir. Is the Gaganyaan is the first human try to make the human to go around the space?
so through Gaganyaan, so ISRO will launch the first humans, means two people, in 2025. So two defense people will be sent onto space. So if you are mentally and physically fit, you will also get a chance to go to space.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for answering all of the questions from the curious minds we have here. So for the rest of the students, I hope you have received the email ID in the chat box. You can email us all of your queries and questions related to the session, and we will answer all your queries back. Uh, and thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful session. So, expressing gratitude is always special, especially when we've had the privilege of diving into a fascinating session like the one we just had experienced. A heartfelt thanks to you, sir, on a journey through the cosmos, unraveling the incredible story of how satellites are changing India. Your insights have been a guiding light, helping us navigate the vast expanse of space technology and understand its transformative impact on our nation. The knowledge you shared has sparked our curiosity and broadened our perspective. I'm so sorry for the power cut.
You are still visible.
Yeah, broadened our perspectives, leaving us with a deeper appreciation for the role satellites play in shaping the destiny of our great country. Your dedication to making this complex topic accessible and engaging has truly made a difference for all of us. It's not just about the information, it's about the inspiration you've instilled in each participant that are here today. We now feel more connected to the incredible possibilities that satellites bring to India. Once again, thank you so much for your time, expertise, and passion in delivering this insightful session. You've not only enlightened us, but have fueled our enthusiasm to explore further, learn more, and contribute to the exciting future that satellite technology holds for our nation. We really look forward to many more future opportunities to collaborate with you and your team. Last but not the least, I would like to remind all the students that registrations for scientific excursions are open. To know more about CAMP's upcoming scientific excursion and how to participate in them, please check out the link in the chat box. Don't miss out the opportunity to visit various prestigious labs and organizations like CSIR, ISRO, DRDO, and many others. If you have any further questions or queries or need additional support, please feel free to reach out at any of our social media handles or helpline numbers. We are here to assist you on your path to success. Thank you so much for your active participation and dedication to your personal and professional growth. In case you have missed today's session or would like to watch it again, the recordings will be available under your student login. So how many of you have found today's session helpful? Can I please have a thumbs up or any other react? Yes, I see a lot of them. Okay, 15, 25, okay, 30. So, well, I have a great news for all of you. We have a similar session coming up on 12th December where we will be talking traditional Indian foods. This session will be conducted by CAMP in collaboration with the CSIR NISPERS Swastik team. If you are interested to participate in that workshop, please use the link in the chat box to register yourself. Also, do share the link with your friends so that nobody misses out. Before we end this session, I would like to mention that we would love to hear feedback so we can keep improving our content. Please fill out this quick workshop feedback and let us know your thoughts. Don't worry, your answers will be anonymous and it will just take you minutes. We would also appreciate if you could share a small testimonial video describing how this knowledge sharing session by CAMP helped you. You can either upload the video to your social media handle and tag us, or you can share the video with us and we will post it directly on our social media handles. Now we will end the session and we will all meet soon for another exciting session of CAMP. Thank you so much again, all of you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, all the students. Please fill out the feedback form. You can find the link in the chat box. Let us know which kind of workshops you would love to attend and let us know what you have learned from today's session. Thank you so much, everyone. Keep learning and keep growing. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Bijit, Aniket, and CAMP, and also all the children. Shall I leave now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, you can come.